What's up, guys? I'm SaltEMike, and this is your Star Citizen Weekend Review for November 17th, 2025. 4.4 appears to have a date now, and it looks like it's November 20th, and that's because we found out about Twitch drops being a thing, and the engineering test went about as well as you would expect it to. All that and more on today's Week in Review. And as always, if this is your first week in review, this is where I take all of the official Star Citizen news each week, put it into one video, and share some of my opinions about it. I also live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/SaltEMike, so stop by and say hi if you haven't yet. I always enjoy seeing you guys over there. Now, no sponsor this week, so if you guys are really enjoying the show, first off, please get subscribed. It goes a long way to helping the channel. And with that, let's get into the patch notes. All right, we start out on Monday with a 4.4 PTU, and it's been that typical trying to polish Nyx, but the performance was still awful. On Tuesday, 4.4 PTU, the testing focus showed that the only new content in the entire patch is now rep-gated in a PTU. A lot of people had a lot to say about this, and it requires like 30 to 35 missions to complete. But guess what? The only way to complete them is if you Alt F forward, because the objects in the world weren't loading in properly. So not just 30 to 35 missions, but also 30 loading screens. So seems really stupid since the tech smuggler mission has some bugs that need resolving. So also new gun in the shops and in single weapon elimination. It's strong, it's fun to use, but I'm so bad I'm not going to show the rest of the match because I got dominated. T-Dealer and Debalta, respect to you guys. Player injury update, to kind of keep it simple, it used to be this awful RNG system, but now we have proper thresholds per limb and injuries happen less often, and it actually just feels a bit better and more realistic. More on that when we get to dev posts. They also said they added Vandal wild lines, but I haven't heard any, so let me know if you guys have. Wednesday, 4.4 Nyx performance polish improvements continue. Two big things are the L21 Wolf has finally got its gold pass, and has its component bays and stuff. But they also mention flare items added to a number of shops, but I have no clue what that means. My guess is older sub flare is no longer loot only. This is the first time I was able to properly attempt the Vandal Smugglers mission, and we did it with Oztech, who actually got the rep, and his group, and they also found a server with only 4 people on it that nobody else can join. So the AI were actually tough, and the performance was incredible, and this is probably the only time I'll feel the mission working as intended in terms of difficulty and performance. So that was kind of cool. Then Thursday, we had our engineering tech preview go wave 1. So I can actually show you my experiences, but I don't think you really want to see this one. First up, it isn't on every ship. It's just listed the available ships at the bottom of the post, and it's not nearly all of them. But before we can even get started, we were just trying to group up in this part. It just 30K'd over and over again, constantly, like 20 of them. I stayed diligent. I went at this for like 3 or 4 hours. So we went into Arena Commander just to see how things felt. But like all the previous tests, the best we can experience was, I keep calling snowballing. And then, the second your shields go down, there's no way you can experience the engineering gameplay. And after that, we just set a ship on fire so my stream can see that for the first time. And like I said last week, they nailed that aspect, but venting doesn't really do much. So as like many things with engineering don't at the moment. Then right after that patch of a tech preview, it was a disaster. They instantly launched the 4.4 test because they took down the tech preview because it was so bad. And it was a similar patch again with more performance polish, but unlike others, this was the first time that I felt they might have improved that performance. And, not hating my life in Nyx, but the server had about half the people on it that I had previously seen in tests. So I don't know if this is just the amount of people or a performance update, but lots of people said better performance, so maybe it's better performance. There is still a rep gate on the new event content, but they did something sneaky in this PTU. They gave us a tiny bit at the level that you need, so the mission did show up. This was the first time I was able to actually complete the Vandal Tech Smugglers mission, which was pretty fun. Next, I tested a little bug fix where they said if you have a crime stat in Nyx, yes, they copy pasted the law system from Stanton here. You just go to jail in Klesher. So this is totally fine, I think, for now, because it is not a lawless system. It just isn't under UEE law. But it begs the question, what should a law system in Nyx even look like? So sound off in the comments about that. After that, I did some cargo missions. And yeah, I did one in the red tab, and I think I just hauled humans, which is wild. Friday 4.4 PTU. I didn't check this build out, and I probably won't do a ton more testing because now we know it's going live on the 20th. And yeah, I don't want to spoil any more fun that I might have. So more on that in the tech preview. Friday, engineering tech preview refresh. So this is where they fixed the 30Ks. I had 0. And the first thing I did was take out a single-seater salvager to see just how my day-to-day salvage life would be affected by engineering. It was not at all. And yeah, except a new variable, wear and tear. This is weird to me. It goes down slowly over time, no matter if a component is on, in use or not, powered on or not, actively being abused, like overclocking, using it a ton. I can't tell the difference between any of them. And it is not repairable by anything, not even station repair. So this indicates that all components will have a lifespan, I guess. And this plan might be the solution for component loss, but it certainly isn't an elegant one. If all components just die after time, why not allow them to be stolen? Who needs a dead man switch, right? Like, oh yeah, the pledge store does. I forgot about that. Let me know what you guys think about this one. I like the idea of wear and tear. I do. But something just doesn't feel entirely right on it. And then I decided to take my little salvager and do an intro bounty. Unfortunately, they also seem to have engineering as well, and I shut the ship off. And when I tried to board it, after this 30K, unfortunately, or server error, it was very much on fire, and I could not kill it, or the pilot, because he was T-posed. Next up, my org mates and I took out a Starlancer and decided to sit at an OLP and let ships shoot at us. They were so bad it took a while, but then they ended up damaged things when we brought our shields down. They couldn't out-damage the two of us in the back, really, but what we didn't realize yet is that the ship has hull health as well. And if one of those parts goes down to 0, if it is a, important part, you just blow up, which kind of defeats the entire purpose of engineering for me, kind of. More on that in a moment. Now, we're in an Asgard, and as you could see, there are not enough pips to power what you want, especially all those shields, right? Also, something I still don't understand is the yellow power pips versus the blue ones. So from what I could tell is if I pull the power out of the blue shields, pips, it starts to shut down individual shields in the ship. Yellow might be overclocking them. I'm not sure. Now back to hull health. After some damage from some NPCs, we realized that we can repair our hull fully. Now there's a ton of bugs there, no RMC being consumed, and it was instant, but this felt actually really, really nice. Like after a bunch of missions with the org mates, before heading in for the night, and you kind of repair everything and put the ship away. It made sense to me, and as I said, it felt good. It didn't feel tedious at all. It was a large, because it was a large section, and I only have to shoot one spot, which is a bug. Now, hopefully CIG takes that feedback to heart there. Allow me to repair that entire hull section, no matter where I shoot. I think that would be nice. Then we finally got into a little PvP. This test we just landed, and I let the enemy kind of shoot and know exactly where to shoot. Note they could not sub-target any components. They had to know where to shoot. The main thing to recognize here is just how long it takes to repair after he did damage to us. And then note how quickly he applied said damage, right? Lastly, we did a PvP test against the Deadbolt Corsair that's explosive weapons. This ship, our ship, I would say, is overcrewed. We had at least 4 people repairing components, and they're very close to each other. And yeah, the footage just shows how quickly components just die in this case. And I think our hull as well, because we just exploded instantly. In a second test, we went against lasers, and the result wasn't much different. The snowball after the shields went down, it's impossible to keep up with, even with a huge crew. Oh, and I almost forgot, stop writing that comment that you were definitely writing. The helmets are now physical, and you could take them on and off, but no flip. All right, that was all of the patch updates. I don't feel great about 4.4. I don't feel great about engineering yet. I think Nyx needs its time to feel alive, and engineering needs a lot of it. But with that, let's move into other updates. All right, and of course we started with a sneak peek, and yeah, last week I probably got that one wrong. Everyone thought the sneak peek was this, which many people are calling the Drake Clipper. It was probably part of some leak or something, which I don't follow. This sneak feels like it's probably a Drake chip as well, but I think it could also be Misk based on the engine or even Kruger. What do you guys think? Talking shop, literally, I have no words. So yeah, listen to this trailer.
Hey Gale, I've got a question for you.
Shoot, kid.
You like talking ships?
What? You know I do. Hey, in fact, did you see that RSI's put a tactical
Then
basketball
you're
hoop
gonna
in the...
love Talking Shop.
Who are you talking to? That's the name of our show.
Join me, Lexi Marlowe, and my trusty sidekick.
Sidekick?
And
What's going
favourite
on?
gearhead, Gail Kessler.
Whoa, wait, are you Is this an ad? Are you trying to get me in an ad, Lexi?
No.
For our own show? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. First you sell us out to anyone with a credit line and a jingle, cruise Lux, medical gowns, and now you're making me part of an ad? Lexi, I'm done. Damn it, Lex, I'm a mechanic, not some marketing mouthpiece. How many times am I
He'll
gonna tell
tire
you?
himself out, eventually. He usually does. Anyway, tune in to Talking Shop, live from Teacher's Ship Shop in Levski for our take on the IAE. Starts November 20th. I can't wait.
All I have to say is last year was literally the best coverage of IAE in Star Citizen's history. And what did they do with that feedback? Scrap it and do a Spotify podcast that I see some members of the community, they're arguing whether or not it's AI. I don't know what is worse, it being AI or paying backer funds for someone to make a fake podcast. Last year was good because it was the ship sale stuff, but it was also covering important game discussion with key developers. I know that wasn't the focus of the year, but all I'm saying is like literally anything else. Like what the hell was that? IAE FAQ. This one will be quick. If you're interested in IAE and want to know more about or pretty much anything about it, check this page out. It'll be linked in the description, but it doesn't exactly share anything we don't already know or anything like that, right? Then Twitch drops. The main thing from the main change, I guess, from the previous IAE this year, they're just doing a Twitch drop campaign. It's wild. I never would have expected that. That would not be on my bingo card. If you don't know what it is, you just simply link your Star Citizen account with Twitch and then watch a stream for an allotted time and you get free stuff in game. This one will start on the 20th and you will need to watch a 4 hours of streams, and you could split that up in 20-minute increments, hour increments, however you want for, I think, the entire course of IAE. I addressed the silly drama around that on the TV channel. Check it out if you haven't yet. It's amazing how a company can sell everything and nobody bats an eye. And they make a marketing campaign on one of the premier platforms to advertise video games, and people don't like it. So yeah, go look at Tarkov and how well that is doing with its 1.0 release because of drops. But yeah, the armor may or may not be your style. And by the way, I know Tarkov had some drama around the drops, but whatever. The armor may not be your style, but it's a marketing campaign. This could mean something towards Squadron or whatever. Now, dev posts pistols. The big stress of this post was, yes, we know the med gun is too strong, and we want you to start using pistols. We want you to make the decision. But they also recognize the old med pens are extremely old and dated and have a ton of issues. So until they add more to the game, like proper armor, fix some bugs, then they will address the med gun. And even without med gun updates, they expect people will still potentially choose a pistol over the med gun. So they know the med gun is bad. They know everything else is worse, and that they want to fix everything else first. Nyx missions. We don't have People Alliance missions yet, but they want to get big guilds in as a 1.0 task first. They also mentioned setting the stage for Reputation V2, which still feels like a tease because we've been waiting for this since CitizenCon 2023, maybe even before that. Then ships in shops. This is a quick one, adding to the update from last week. They're also adding the Guardian MX, Prowler, Utility, and Meteor to the in-game shops for purchase, making Wicklow less relevant, which is probably a good thing at this point. And with that, I I want to point something out that goes very much along the idea of that podcast thing. It has been 94 days or 95 days since the last proper ISC, and that ISC was the worst type of ISC that we used to get. The one that would happen right before a patch would come out because you already knew everything about it because every YouTuber has already said everything about it. I can't even recall how long it's been and did not even look at how many days it has been since a proper ISC. That is why that podcast thing feels so bad. There was excuses about CitizenCon and the set. What's your excuse now? I got nothing. My excuse is I got to go stream. We record these on Sunday mornings. That's why I always look so tired. So I'm going to catch you later. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're enjoying Weeks in Review. And yeah, comment down below on anything we talked about and anything we might have missed. I put a few call outs there, and I'll see you guys next week.